down to define it, what are two other things that are necessary for a person to be a friend? So number one, you have to have what's called, this is called in Latin, benevolence. Benevolence, which is a beautiful word. Bene means, vol means will. So being benevolent means, oh, kind of like that warm inclination of yourself. When you see me, in the morning, and then just kind of like that little cinnamon glow happens inside of your heart. And you're like, Father, that's benevolence. My will is good towards you. I express goodwill. So that's where you get kind of cool things like, I wish you, or goodwill to all, peace and goodwill to all, or peace on earth and goodwill to men. See, that's God's benevolence to men of goodwill. We have that expression in English. You'd also think of it as a well-wishing. There's not a lot of well-wishing that went around. I wish you well, I wish you well. So we say this. What's an example of well-wishing in your common parlance? Yep, go ahead. Take care. Wishing you well. Take care. Have a good day. Wish you well.
Say break a leg.
Yeah, whatever. What you're doing there is you're expressing the fact that I'm showing you friendship, and someone said take care, and you said take off. Oh my gosh. You'd be like, because they expressed benevolence, and it got met with malevolence. Cool. So you wish well for your own sake, that's benevolence, but there's two other things that have to happen. It's at the very end.
Oh, it has to be reciprocal.
Cool. What does that mean, Gina?
It has to be returned,
Cool. Okay.
and they have to know it.
Yep.
So
So let's suppose that you're really shy. As an example, you see the teenagers. Some of them, they're just like, almost like, man, here's this son. This kid is just screwed up, And they just sit there, they never move. You're like, hey, Sally, I hope you have a good day. And I'm really glad you came to Eagle Eye. You should just live. Now, inside of her, Sally could be like, I love you. I'm just so happy. Please don't send me home. But if she doesn't manifest it, there's not much you can do except be like, oh boy, Sally's putting up with it. I showed her friendship, and she didn't even let me know if it was reciprocal. But inside it is. Even though the friendship is potential, until Sally can show it back and start to cry and smile at me, then I know we're friends. We got something. So like in a movie where you have like an autistic person, and the person Helen Keller's working with her, you can do it, And at that moment, the breakthrough comes when finally they're able to express that they know the relationship and it's meaningful. Cool. So keep this in mind because what these are your talks with your teenage daughters. They don't really care about you, first step. No, they really do care about me. When I give you all the kids that you're going to take care of them, you're chaperoning Eagle Eye, then it has to be reciprocal, right? So this is like, I love him, he's my best friend, he doesn't care about you. No, but I love him. Honey, I know you do love him, but like, he doesn't love you. What's the matter with that? Is what she's really saying. You're like, okay, Aristotle says that there's three things necessary. It works every time.
You mean Bon Jovi doesn't know we're friends?
Yeah, exactly. That, show me that it's reciprocal. If he never says it, and the more that they can show it, the deeper the friendship goes. And you meet some people that really can't show it. They have like this blockage. They can't touch. They don't know how to touch. They don't know how to laugh. Well, it's going to be harder for them to make friends. Elephant Man. All those kind of things. Which, of course, is such a sad thing, an evil thing that people put down. Okay. So these are going
I've seen that
to
movie.
look differently than he says based upon if this is applied to the useful, it's applied to the pleasant. So your well-wishing for his own sake reciprocally with both knowing it will be done towards someone who's useful, like your garbage man, differently than it will be to the class clown. And that's differently than it will be to your brother. You have the same thing. I wish you well. I want you to know it. I want you to wish me well too. We got this awesome thing going. Me and my garbage man. You know, it's like me and my bus driver. There's Frank. He's my kid's bus driver. All he ever does is look kind and wave. You know, you have no idea like what Frank is really like. But he's like, you know, oh, it's Frank. Oh, we get along well. Okay. But there's like a boundary. You don't go up to Frank and be like, Frank, why is it that, you know? How did you get that scar on your face? You can't really say that. That transgresses the boundaries. And it's got a little different for the class clown. I mean, there's a lot of people that you just love, and you guys all know it because there's a pleasant relationship. This guy is just really funny. And so there's certain boundaries you never transgress. And I know as a priest, I mean, you hear so many things. And I've heard the class clowns coming to me just crying. No one cares about me. They only like me because I'm funny. It's like, wow, you get to see that. I wish I could help them. But that's what they're saying is that they do love me, and I do love them, and we're having a great time. But it only goes so deep. And then there's the friendship that I have for someone who's really, I love them as a good in themselves. That's good work. Awesome. So now it's good to get into that. Breathe. Back to you, little Miss Watcher. Why don't you just keep looking at your watch as you read?
Now these reasons differ from each other in kind. So therefore do the corresponding forms of love and friendship. There are therefore three kinds of friendship, equal in number to the things that are lovable. For with respect to each, there is a mutual and recognized love, and those who love each other wish well to each other in that respect in which they love one another. Now those who love each other for their utility do not love each other for themselves, but in virtue of some good which they get from each other. So too with those who love for the sake of pleasure. It is not for their characters that men love ready-witted people, but because they find them pleasant. Therefore, those who love for the sake of utility love for the sake of what is good for themselves, and those who love for the sake of pleasure do so for the sake of what is pleasant to themselves, and not insofar as the other is the person loved, but insofar as he is useful or pleasant.
That's the key sentence.
And thus these friendships are only incidental, for it is not as being the man he is that the loved person is loved, but as providing some good or pleasure. Such friendships then are easily dissolved in the parties if the parties do not remain like themselves. For if the one party is no longer pleasant or useful, the other ceases to love him.
Pretty straightforward, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you get out of that?
It's more utility, like the garbage man. You're pleasant. You need him to take your trash. But if he stops picking up your trash, like, there's no level of friendship there anymore. It's just,
You love them for yourself,
yeah.
for what they do for you. You don't love them for anything else. Or
You think that's okay?
I think
It's like a,
gray. I mean, it's like, if you're being manipulative, then no. I don't care you're treating them. But if you're like, this guy, if it's like a genuine, like, I like this guy because he does a great job taking out my trash or whatever.
I mean, it's kinda
I
like,
don't think it's like a true friendship.
yeah, he's not expecting more from you, like, he's the trash man. Like, you're paying him, so like, I feel like there's like common courtesy, like, and it's just expected that you're gonna be polite to each other, but neither one of you are like, hey, best buddies, let's go to the game tonight.
And is that okay then? If the other person isn't, you know, kind of like agrees that she's not in it for anything deeper?
I think so. I mean, he
I think
doesn't
it's
wanna be friends
unrealistic.
with everyone that he picks up trash for.
Mhm.
Because you still have to have like that bond between each other, like, well, I mean, one way you could say birds of a feather flock together, but like all of the different things that Aristotle talked about, like there still has to be something that attracts you to that person.
I was looking to, because this is something that amazes me when a colleague dies at work, you know, it's pretty shallow, the comments that are like, you know, he was always kind. And you're like, wow, and that's all you hear about the comments made. That person was just, he had such an amazing presence to them. And why? Because it's dealing with colleagues at work. In the business world, I see this all the time. There's a lot of well-wishing, but it only goes so deep. And it's because the only reason I'm wishing you well, and you reciprocally, is that we're united in work. And so we want to have a good day together, a good office place together, so we set certain rules, and we kind of get along more or less, but it doesn't go deep. And sometimes it's not allowed to go deep.
Yeah.
It's confused.
I think that's for, I mean, for business, and not that business shouldn't be, about friendship or whatever, but like, if you invest too much in a business and then it like defines, that relationship defines who you are or whatever with whoever, and then, I just think it's more of, protecting yourself.
I think there's a way
Going
that
too deep.
you can genuinely care for people though, and they can know it without it affecting business.
There is. It's just that it's like not done in corporate America. Like there's like a standard code that I've seen anyway in big businesses, IBM, whatever, where there's like a politeness and a care for each other, but there's like a professional boundary that you don't cross. I don't know if you've experienced that.
Well,
I think you can get manipulative, it's easier to be manipulated that way.
yeah, I know like people that have that very like that viewpoint that you can never be friends with anyone that you work with, and you know you shouldn't do anything with them outside of work. I mean I've had people tell me that, but I've like in the workplaces that I've been, have always tried to like make that extra effort to like genuinely be nice to people. And like when I left my last job, like it showed. Like people were upset when I left, not just because of like what I did, but because I was leaving. And it never crossed the lines of boundary, like the business boundaries. It never made my work look less than it should be, or changed my opinion. Like there was still business, but there's still people.
Well, I think you should. Absolutely. It's just that what amazes me is that I think we live this, I guess. This makes sense to me.
I think it's actually even more of a little bit of an older mentality that like business, I mean, I think it's,
It's business.
people that are like 50s, 60s, I think where I see more of that idea that there can never be a cross between like, business is just business.
Yeah, I think the millennial generation blurs that line. It's more just like, it's supposed to be friends, supposed to care about each other. What I find is difficult is that if you do that, but person really sticks it to you, they just leave, you know. And then you're like, I guess it just was business. But that doesn't mean it's gonna be. All right, so let's keep on going. So then, we can wrap this up, I think. I wanna go through that next 3 paragraphs in this next class, because this is where it starts to get really good. Because what he's gonna do is he's gonna start saying, well, positive friends, he's gonna start, next he's gonna talk about what does it look like to be useful, what does it look like to be pleasant, and he's gonna be like, what does it look like to be good? And so really where he gets beautiful about what is a true friend. Saying things like, a friend is another myself. And he says the most cool thing is like, with a friend, you can tell secrets. You know someone's a friend to the degree to which you can entrust secrets to them, because it doesn't violate a secret to tell a friend, because it never leaves you. The friend is another you. If you tell your friend a secret, it's not even violating it, because they're just an extension of you. It was pretty cool. So, all right, let's say our prayers.